You've been working at them and working at them, but you just don't feel like your push-ups are progressing no matter how hard you try. Yet you feel like you're so close. That's why I wanted to share these 5 tips to help you adjust your workouts and push-up work to finally get over that hurdle and bust out picture-perfect push-ups from your toes. Because we don't want to just do one perfect push-up, we want to be a push-up rock star. First, don't just include push-ups for only reps and sets. Use intervals instead to work on your push-ups. A big part of improving our push-ups is our mind-body connection, not just our overall muscular strength. Often we're even already strong enough. We just aren't able to recruit the correct muscles to the correct extents as efficiently as we need. It's why our hips sag as we focus on pushing back up, or our elbows flare, or we just can't engage our back to support our shoulders. That's why interval work over counting reps can help. Intervals allow us to focus on what we feel working during each and every rep, because we don't have to care or count how many reps we need to do. We're just working for that set amount of time. We also don't get to be done any faster by rushing through the reps. So having that set time frame to work allows us to focus on each and every rep. And it allows us often to do a higher volume of work with a harder variation over getting focused on doing more reps while using a more modified variation. Often when we see 3 rounds of 8 to 12 reps, we modify the push-up to do more reps each round. But this often only helps us improve our strength endurance at doing the more modified variation. Using intervals, if you know you have 1 minute to work, you can do a rep of the hardest variation and then pause. You can reset and do another rep of the same challenging variation. You can pause again and repeat. You can then modify if you can't keep the rest about 10 to 15 seconds between reps. This allows you to create a greater training volume while using that more challenging variation to build up. And you can stay focused on what you feel working over just trying to get a certain amount of reps done. Next, don't be afraid to mix up the push-up variations you use. Push-ups can be their own best accessory exercise. Often when we can't do a full push-up yet, we don't think about mixing things up. But different grips and push-up variations can help us target our weak links and strengthen them while also allowing us to get in more push-up work. So instead of using the same standard push-up variation multiple times over the course of the week, mix things up. Try close grip push-ups to work those triceps more while requiring less scapular control. Try shoulder tap push-ups to work on that anti-rotational core strength and shoulder stability. Mix up the variations you use, modifying them to even target those weak links while still working on your mind-body connection overall for push-ups. And don't be afraid to also change up tempos and ways of modifying. If you always use an incline, try a band-assisted push-up instead. Which brings me to tip number 3. Try doing push-ups, but only the lower down. Often even just using a single aspect of a movement can help us strengthen it. And when it comes to our push-ups, we can see great gains by just focusing on the eccentric portion of the movement, or the lower down, because we're actually stronger during that part. This may mean we're able to slow down the tempo and spend more time under tension while using a harder variation than we would if we had to press back up. So if you're feeling stuck on an incline or a modified variation, try going to that next advanced step up and do only the lower down, focusing on a slow 5 to 6 count. Once you lower all the way down, simply reset at the top. Don't try to push back up. Complete 3 to 5 reps this way, or even a set interval of work. But focus on what you feel working and everything engaging correctly as you just control the lower down of the most advanced version you can. And be sure to include pauses in your push-ups. And while you can include pauses at any point in the push-up variation you're using that you tend to get stuck, it can be extra beneficial to include a pause and hold at the bottom, especially of an eccentric only version. Hold in that perfect plank an inch or so off the ground. Focus on engaging everything as hard as possible and even run through a checklist of what you feel working in your head. Hold here for a 3 to 5 count, then relax down and reset. This ability to hold tension at the bottom of the push-up will ultimately help you maintain tension to transition to press back up. Often when we hit the bottom of the movement, we struggle to shift from lowering down to pushing the ground away to press back up. This ability to maintain that plank position at the bottom is so key. It's honestly often the missing component in our mind-body connection, and where we lose tension, holding us back from full range of motion perfect push-ups. So try using that pause at the bottom. Although you can also implement pauses throughout the movement if you find there are other points you tend to fail. Like if you get stuck when your elbows are bent to 90 degrees, try holding there too. Don't be afraid to include these pauses to spend more time under tension. These pauses can even help you give yourself the mental ability to focus on what you feel working during the push-up. Then stop just trying to do more reps in a row. Often to build strength, we try and do one more rep with a weight. We try and do one more rep to create that challenge and progression to build strength. But when working to progress a skill, simply doing more volume of a more modified variation can keep us stuck. Instead, we want to focus on fewer reps in a row of a harder variation. We can build up volume by resting even 15 to 20 seconds between 1 to 3 reps to get the 8 to 12 reps we want to complete. But we can't just keep shooting for 10 reps in a row, or we will end up continuing to need to use the same modified variation and only continue to get stronger with that modification. Often when we're trying to focus on hitting a higher rep range for a move, we rush through the rest as well. This doesn't allow us to fully recover, and even leads to us modifying more over the rounds to keep completing more reps. Instead, rest more and do fewer reps in a row. Seek to even use a version you can only do a single rep with. If you find you can do 2 to 3 reps, try even progressing the move further. If you've been stuck feeling like you're just at that tipping point to be able to do a full push-up, try implementing these 5 tips in your workout progression. Use intervals over counting reps. Use different push-up variations. Focus only on the lower down and even include pauses. And then don't be afraid to do single reps in a row, building up that volume over the intervals of work. If you liked the video, make sure to like it, comment below if you have any questions, and subscribe. We're posting new videos each week.